Representing the 23 to 24 foot class in the bay boat category, the Shearwater 23 LTZ has an overall length of 22 feet 6 inches, a beam of 8 feet 2 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 300. Built for a comfortable and dry ride both inside and outside of the inlet, she has a draft of 12 inches, a dead rise of 17 degrees, a dry weight of 2,400 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 80 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, Dave East and Rick Riles.
We're here on the Shearwater 23 LTZ, and we've been through a lot of bay boats. Some of them gray the line between flats and bay, and some of them between offshore and bay. If you looked up bay boat in the dictionary, you may well see this boat.
Well, you call it an LTZ Shearwater, I call it Sheer Beautiful. I like the lines of this boat. It's really, really sleek. The boat looks like it's moving 60 miles an hour sitting on the trailer. It's got a pad hull. And what that means, basically like a bass boat gets up on the pad, when the boat gets up on the pad, you have less wetted surface. There's less hull being pushed through the water. Less wetted surface, less friction, better performance. You can push this boat with a smaller engine, plus you're gonna burn less fuel to do it. Another feature this hull has, it's got reverse chines. And what that is, the chines are the flat area on the outside edge of the hull as they go toward the transom. Now the hull comes up and you have this little flat edge.
Right.
Well, you can reverse and actually turn that down. It'll do two things. One, it's gonna give you a little bit more lift, but two, it's gonna help to throw that spray down and away from the boat. It's gonna keep you drier.
I want to show you these rod boxes, and I've got a reason why. By putting dual rod boxes back here, and they go all the way up to the bow, so there's nothing too long. I can put my rods and reels over here, you can put your fiberglass brim poles, we'll be set, we won't ever get in an argument.
Well, you do have a lot of storage up here, but the first thing that caught my eye when we stepped down in here, this is a bay boat. You're gonna be able to take it offshore, do some light stuff, but I like being in the boat rather than on it. Look how high your gunnels are.
It's not just your sense of security, it's real too. If you're in a 2 to 3 foot chop, you don't want them breaking over the side.
Well, you're leaning against the front of the console right here. This is removable. So is the cooler. And this is a built-in insulated cooler. You take the thumb screws out, this comes out of the way. This whole front comes off. Not that there's a potty under there, but if you need to get to your electronics, you need to store things that you don't need to get to right away, it's a great use of space. All right, as we step aft, look at the helm. It's a little bit different. This console design is different than what we've seen before. It's more straight up, but the fact that they took this back wall and brought it in, you've got a comfortable place to put your feet, but just the fact that you can get closer to the console, it's gonna be more comfortable to drive this, especially if you're standing up.
You know what else it is? It's cool looking.
Yeah, it is that.
You know what? It's gotta be a part of it, right? We didn't all marry the girl with the best personality. We want her to look good too. This console certainly looks good. Great color scheme, great layout, ergonomically very correct. If you're running and you go to throttle up and you need to use your trim switches, they're right here. They're right where they're right next to your throttle and where they belong, right. Both your trim and tilt will be right there. And I've become a huge fan of these bolster seatings where they can be either a leaning post or a very comfortable seat.
Well, the fact that they're split, if you want to stand and I want to sit, we can do that independently instead of having one of us decide if we're going to both stand or both sit. So here again, to be comfortable behind the helm, I keep harping on it on every boat that we get on, but this is where you're going to spend all your time. The more comfortable you are here, the better day you're going to have on the water.
This is a boat that you may run across 20 miles of open water.
Easily.
Because it can handle it. So you want to be comfortable during that time.
Well, if you're going to fish out of this boat, what you're going to do, let's move to the aft casting platform. You've got 3 live wells back here. One can be used as a release well. You've got another live well built into the helm seat and another live well on the port side.
Let me tell you something about being back here. Not only do they have 3 live wells, okay, but they're in the back of the boat where your bait and your fish are riding the easiest, but they designed the boat that way. You understand what I'm saying? They engineered the center of gravity to where she sits best when these wells are in use.
Well, you know what I look for when I get on a boat? I look for the little things. Open the access back here to the bilge. Look at the fit and finish. It's just as nice as the underside of the hatch. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to go that extra step to make it that clean, but they did. That tells me they took that extra step to make the boat really nice.
You're exactly right, and I'll steal a line from you. The easier it is to access your systems, the better care you take of them. And that's primary here. You're gonna wash down these pumps and everything every day. You know why? Because it's easy to get to.
It is. Well, if you're in the market for a bay boat, but you want something sleek, something that's fast, looks like it's going fast, but really will run fast because of the design of the pad on the hull, this Shearwater might be the boat that'll fit the bill.